Nice job, high forward.
One shot, one kill. Ronnie did.
Now introducing your BudHole podcast, Scott, the Great Brandino, Gage's Rage, and Star Lamont.
What's up, girl?
I love the BudHole.
Who doesn't love the BudHole? Welcome to...
Wait, are you saying bud or butthole? I can't tell. Facebook doesn't know the difference.
Well, if it's Facebook's closed captioning system, it's definitely ButHole. But this is BudHole with a D. Welcome to episode 204, everybody. This is the 2020 NFL free agent extravaganza episode, I guess we'll go with.
Free agency preview.
Yeah. So, free agency tampering, legal tampering period in the NFL opened up today. A lot of signings happened. Well, technically not anything, but a lot of verbal agreements. So, we're going to dive into that tonight. If you have anything that you want to talk about or have us hit on, shoot off in the comments. This is the first live podcast that we've done, right? Is it not?
First podcast, I think.
Yeah, live podcast. That's what it said.
It's our 204th podcast.
But it's
But the first one live.
None of the Zoom ones were live?
Unredacted. They technically were, but we were all remote. So this is all of us in one single BudHole.
Socially
Semi-distanced.
appropriately distanced apart.
We're at least an arm length apart. We're fine.
We're all 12 feet long.
True.
We already got a comment here. Thanks, Kenneth. Kenny, we should go by.
Yeah.
And Kenny is also part of the Blue Collar Media Group. I don't know if Scott mentioned that at all.
I know I didn't have time. You guys cut me off.
Yeah, we're actually going live with some great equipment provided by Blue Collar Media Group.
Leading up to the NFL draft, where we are going to be going live the entire night. We're going to have a lot of fun that night.
Oh, yeah, and the whole weekend. It's going to be just a blast. You're not going to want to miss BudHole's coverage.
We were talking about it. Gage and I were. Food. What are we going to do?
Draft night snacks. What's your go-to?
Beer.
Well, definitely.
Importantly, yes,
Yeah.
yep. But the food. We need some fuel. It's got to be the right stuff.
Are we going to do like chicken wings and shit? Are we going to have pizza? Are we going to do hors d'oeuvres? Are our wives going to make hors d'oeuvres?
Well, yeah, what are you talking about hors d'oeuvres for?
We need to make the menu list that we give to these guys' wives to make us the food, you know?
Charcuterie boards?
Tapas?
Sure.
Tapas?
I think. I don't know. What is that?
Small plates?
Barrias.
Nah, I don't want a small plate.
Pizza and wings, you can't go wrong with.
Goes well with the beer, too.
And beer.
Yeah.
We were going to have Scott grill, but we know how that goes sometimes.
Yeah, we wanted something edible to actually eat.
We're going to bring a
It's
black
Thursday
top.
night, not like Sunday afternoon.
He forgot to turn it on.
I have one fucking bad moment on a flat top grill I've never used before, and I'm never going to hear the end of it.
I
Huh?
love these.
Is that where
TikTok
we're at right
videos,
now?
You know, like sizzling meat as soon as they place it on the griddle. It sounds so good. I wish I could have experienced it.
He was slow cooking it.
Very slow cooking.
Using the sun.
Rumor has it, it's still cooking.
He's prepping it for 2022 Memorial Day.
Using the sun.
weekend.
That'll heat the surface up.
Well, fuck. It'll either get done or rot. One of the two.
We all
Yeah.
got sick.
Did you?
I just wanted to give
Sick
you
of
guys
waiting.
extra.
I was starving.
I just wanted to give you
Noon,
guys
and he was trying to serve breakfast.
some extra time to get after your fucking screwdrivers that I made for you. So
Those were delicious too. You're a great host, and you were trying your best. I'll admit that. But think of draft snacks. We got a couple weeks yet. We're coming into the draft. It's almost April.
If anyone listening has an idea,
Send the recommendations.
send the recipes to at budholeswives.com.
We gotta secure that at real quick.
Sounds like someone's not a grill master. Kenny is roasting Scott right now. I love it.
what the fuck ever, Kenny.
Deservedly.
Never-
So what's going on in the NFL? There's some free agency news you guys were talking about that's like supposedly happening,
It's been
but it
coming
can't
in hot.
officially happen.
Yeah, this is the legal tampering period. So there's 2 days where you can negotiate, but you can't put pen to paper. And it's kind of recent. The last like 4 or 5 years is when this started. They didn't have it before.
Something like
But
that, yeah.
majority of the big deals do get made during the legal tampering period.
It's
Yeah.
always been something that's happened, but the NFL has never officially admitted it, basically. They've always, in the past, they've just kind of looked the other way. Whereas now,
When people sign on the first minute that it opened and you're like, oh, how'd you guys have these numbers already?
yeah,
Weird.
it's called tampering.
No.
Excited to have you, Andrew.
So
We're getting tons of
should we
good
just
feedback here.
Should we just jump off
Keep
the
it rolling.
top here and start with should we go largest dollar value contract all the way down, or should we go team by team, deal by deal?
We can just talk about some of the big deals so far.
Let's
Obviously,
do-
some teams made more deals than others.
And obviously, there were deals done before the legal tampering. If a player got released from the team prior to today, they were able
They
to
were free agents.
sign in good faith with a team. Not
Yes.
an Anthony Barr deal.
Kevin Zietler, for instance, signed with the Baltimore Ravens. He was
Jade-
cut by the Giants,
JJ Watt was able to sign
and he signed 10 days ago or so.
something like that.
Um,
Not good with math.
Yeah, about a week and a half ago.
but today, one of the biggest signings was Kansas City. They cut their left tackle, cut their right tackle, had to clear up cap space.
Losing their center.
Yep, lost their center.
Was he a free agent as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they decided to go out and spend big on Joe Thuney, who they gave a 5-year, $80 million contract to. He's going to Kansas City, and he was one of the biggest dominoes to fall.
Can we get an official pronunciation of that name?
Joe Thuney, Thuney.
I think it's
Undersized.
I'm pretty sure it's Thuney.
Thuney?
Yeah.
I believe it's Thuney as well.
I have an inside source.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Thuney was only signed to a 1-year deal last
could be
year.
Tooney.
He was,
He was,
franchise tag.
franchise tag. Yeah.
Tagged. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Now, the Chiefs, to be able to do that, they restructured Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Chris Jones.
Everyone who got a big deal last year.
So
Wow.
they opened up like $20 million in cap space, I think is what it was, to be able to re-sign them.
Are they still under the official cap number yet, or
After that signing, I would think that they've got to be close.
pushing it again?
Yeah.
They
They'll
still
pull
have
money out of nowhere.
Yeah,
They're good at
that's
that.
what they do.
The cap is fake.
It
We
is
learned
fake.
that with New Orleans yesterday.
Well, until judgment. Yeah, that's true. I was going to say until judgment year, which is this year for the Saints, but
We've
Yeah.
been learning year after year it's fake with the Rams. They keep signing big players to big contracts and nothing happens to them.
No. You got Taysom Hill signing for a $140 million contract that he's probably not going to see 120 of it.
Wait, that's Taysom Hill or
You got
Jameis
a
Winston?
4-year, 140 deal.
Oh,
But
wow.
everything is voidable.
Funny money is creating cap space for this year,
Okay,
is what it did. And then, so they can void it and get
but
rid
they'd
of
have to
it.
cut him. Yeah.
And they're still expected to make a move towards Jameis and have an open competition for QB.
I think their plan is Jameis to be the de facto quarterback, and then Taysom Hill can have 30% of the quarterback snaps in his little package that Sean Payton rolls with.
Looks like the Chiefs have $8 million in cap right now
So they still have enough
After
room
the-
to go get somebody
after
else.
the Thuney.
So they still have enough room to go get one more player.
Well, and you still got to save room for your rookies.
That's all included. That's taken right off
that's
top of the
taken
cap.
into account? Okay.
Yep. The next big contract, which we could get into the Bucks as a whole here, Shaquille Barrett gets a 4-year, $68 million contract with the Tampa Bay Bucks. They truly do keep the band together,
Hell
as
yeah.
Tom Brady
Yeah.
said.
It's pretty similar to the situation the Chiefs were in last year, where you thought the team was going to fall apart after the Super Bowl, and they were able to somehow pay everyone.
Yep.
And Bucks have a smaller window than the Chiefs do, but they're hoping to get it for the next couple of years. Extended Brady.
And they tagged Godwin. Franchise tagged them.
I think
Re-signed
they
Gronk
said-
today.
BudHole bet.
That one paid right away. And you guys were saying if it's Godwin, they're going to lose Shaq Barrett. They get them both.
Well, I
Have your
wasn't.
cake and eat it too.
I wasn't foreseeing the Tom
Only
Brady
one of us put
restructure.
money down on that.
Vendiction denied.
I don't want vindication. I think they said
Addiction.
they had.
Words.
Words. They're tough, man.
I'm trying to remember. They got Levante
Walking
David,
footsteps
Shaq
are-
Barrett, and Chris Godwin for under $30 million this year. They re-signed them all, and they don't even count for $30 million against cap this
and they
year.
got David too?
Yep.
Wow.
2 years, like $24 million for Levante.
That's crazy. That's good. That's going to be a good team. They're
The
Looking
next
to
big
defend.
one, the Rams. Leonard Floyd goes back to the Rams on a 4-year, $64 million contract. If this shows you anything as far as NFL free agency goes, it's offensive linemen and edge rushers. People will pay a premium for.
He was shipped off last year, wasn't he?
He was pretty much gifted to them for nothing,
Yeah.
and he had a good year, and boom, he gets paid.
And they have been known for that recently.
Yes, they have.
Fowler. Didn't he?
Yep, Fowler, Floyd, who was another guy that they brought in that ended up popping.
And at linebacker, Corey Littleton. Like they seem like they either sign him to big deals and then move away from them a year or two later, or just lose them in free agency. They lost the safety to the Browns.
Yes, John Johnson goes from the Rams to the Browns on a 3-year, $33.7 million contract.
which is it's a nice deal for them to get him too.
The Browns needed him.
They're going to have Grant Delpit come back. He was their second round pick last year,
I believe so. Yeah.
and he tore his Achilles or
Tore his
ACL.
Achilles.
Yeah, something in training camp. He was done. Greedy Williams thought he had a stinger. He was out for the rest of the year too. I think he missed, if not everything, most of it. So they're going to get both those back.
Ooh.
Denzel Ward,
When did Nelson Aguilar to the Patriots happen?
a couple hours ago.
Okay,
Or
that's a
hour and
sneaky
a half,
get. I
yeah.
didn't see that one come across. He signed a 2-year, $22 million deal. The Patriots are going wild.
They're pushing all their chips in.
It's very unpatriot-like of them.
The Patriots also signed in order. Matt Judon goes from Baltimore to New England, the edge rusher.
My opinion, their best signing.
A 4 years, $56 million deal.
He just seems like a Patriots player too.
Yeah, hard nosed, hand in the dirt, plays some hard football,
Yeah.
not flashy. And then Jonnu Smith leaves Tennessee, heads to New England on a 4-year, $50 million contract for a tight end.
Big deal for him too. And it's the type of player that they need.
I
Versatile tight end.
believe
fit for New
I saw
England.
online that Matt Judon and Jonnu Smith, respectively, got the 2 largest contracts in Patriots history for players at their positions. So 4 for 56 to Matt Judon and 4 for 50 to Jonnu Smith are the 2 richest contracts at that position in Patriots history.
And they just traded for the
Trent-
right tackle.
Trent Brown, I believe.
Trent Brown
Yeah.
back. They lost him to the Raiders.
Yeah.
They gave him buku dollars for a right tackle, and so I'm wondering how that's going to work with their cap.
That's the Belichick way, though. Sell high, buy low. I was seeing rumors
He bought
that
high. He's still getting paid all
He's
that
still
money,
on that contract. Maybe
Yeah.
the Raiders are agreeing to pay some of it or something.
potentially.
There's probably some dead cap that they have to cover on the deal, at least this year.
I'm pretty sure that there was dead cap, like a good amount of dead cap that the Raiders ate.
Gage, what is dead cap?
It's cap that's no longer alive,
Facts.
or just the truth. Yeah, it's facts.
Spitting
Dead
truth
cap.
over
I
here.
thought
Cage is
we
rich.
said cap was a lie.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
dead cap. It's a truth.
It's the truth.
Cap's a myth.
Oh, I see where you're going with this one. Steve says, look at the guaranteed money.
Guaranteed money.
For
Okay.
who? Everyone?
Total guaranteed dollars for Judon is only 32. Steve, we like to make it sound like these are fat fucking contracts. Everybody that pays attention to the NFL knows that these contracts don't mean shit. None of them do. They look cute on paper. A year later, if the team doesn't like the player, boom. Or if you're fucking Danielle Hunter, you just decide, I don't like the contract. I want to be traded. So it goes both ways.
You think he'll actually hold out?
Daniil, we love you.
I dare you, Danielle. I dare you.
We also have
don't tempt him. But I just wanted to ask you guys' opinion. Now we have Steve listening too. Does this bring them to a 9-win team? Spending all this money?
They're gonna go as Cam Newton goes,
Yeah.
unless they draft somebody that takes over for him. I
Over-
say no.
over under 9 wins.
Under.
8.5.
Under.
I'm mashing the under.
Hammer.
They also are getting back all their opt-outs.
You're still playing against Buffalo. That's the best team in the AFC.
If Cam Newton can be anywhere near like half of what Cam Newton used to be, they'll be decent.
I don't view Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne as huge upgrades in that wide receiver room. Obviously, Aguilar had a great season, but he's not your game changer. He's not your Galladay or Allen Robinson who got franchise tag. But
You got to think they still have pick 15. So they could still get a playmaker at that spot. Maybe Pitts
Yeah.
falls to them, which is a possibility, or one of the top 3 wideouts could drop depending on how the draft board goes. So they might still have a chance at somebody like that,
yeah,
or
They-
a quarterback.
They drafted a couple tight ends last year that they were high on. Like 4th round guys.
But if
Athletic-y.
if Pitts is there, you're going to take Pitts at 15. I
what
don't
if
think
Waddle's there?
if one guy's there's only going to be one guy there. If Waddle's
there's
there,
going to be a
Pitts
lot
isn't gonna
more
be there.
than one guy there.
One of
It's
those
the
top
15th
4.
It's probably going to
There's
be
gonna
like
be
a couple
hundreds of
thousand.
players,
Yeah.
yeah.
I bet there's a lot of guys at 15.
One of the top 4 playmaking wide
Pass
receiver
catchers.
tight end. Yes,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Eh.
Justin Fields might be there at 15. The way he's dropping on draft boards.
I still think they
Fake.
could be looking at tight end. Or
I don't think
quarterback,
he
like you
will. I
said.
think the Jets are going to take Zach Wilson at 2. Apparently, according to Davis, the Jets signed Corey Davis. I haven't seen that come through yet, but that's the breaking news we have for you right now.
So
Corey
are we gonna
Davis to
are we
the
gonna go
Jets.
with it? Are we gonna confirm it? Or are we gonna call a little bit of fake news?
Is this a
I mean, we could
Unsure.
probably look it up. We have these things in front of us. that-
screenshot it? Send
Boom!
to me
Here
and
it
I'll
is.
tell you if
Corey
it's fake.
Davis. Boom! It is confirmed. 3 years, $37.5 million. We'll go with it, Davis.
Steve believes they're going after Trey Lance or Justin Fields,
And if they do that,
which I think is a possibility.
I'm going to
Trey
be
Lance
honest
would be
with you.
awesome there.
I think
If-
so too.
If I'm a Patriots fan, this is on the level of excitement as winning your last Super Bowl with the Patriots right now, because the Patriots haven't done this for 15 years in free agency. To see them sitting there and throwing all this money out at all these players after the year you went through last year, you got to be damn excited.
Never had to. They've had ring chasers going there for 15 years.
Yeah.
But what's
Very
been
true.
the other talk with the Patriots? Nobody wants to go play there, right? You've heard that a lot in the last since Brady left.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to play for New England. Well, this just goes to show that people will, and money talks.
They had a lot of
Money
cap
does
space.
talk.
Shanny also brought up that they do have a couple COVID opt-outs coming back. Hightower is one of them. Patrick Chung, I believe, is another. I don't know the other ones off the top of my head, but they do have a couple guys.
Was Gilmore banged up or was he hold
He
up?
played.
Okay.
There was talk about trading him this offseason.
Yeah, he didn't play well, and they had a rookie that just blew
He played
up too,
well.
right? Like 4 or 5 picks pretty early.
Are you thinking Jackson?
Yeah, I think that's
JC?
the guy.
Was that
What position?
Was that
Cornerback.
JC
Cornerback,
Jackson,
yeah,
right?
Rookie
Yeah,
cornerback.
I don't know if
Played
he's a
pretty
rookie
well for New
though.
England last year.
I'm not too familiar. I have no idea.
Who else do we got? Romeo Okwara stays with Detroit. They gave him a 3-year, $39 million contract. That's a big deal for the 26-year-old. We talked John Johnson, JJ Watt. We gave a mention to. He went to Arizona on a 2-year, $28 million contract with 23 guaranteed. Yannick Ngakoue, somebody that Minnesota fans are very familiar with, as well as Baltimore fans. He goes to Las Vegas on a 2-year, $26 million contract.
That's a very good pickup for him too.
They needed a guy like that, a just straight pass rusher. They haven't
Fair.
had it since they traded Mac.
Pair him with Clelin Ferrell, and then also with Max Crosby.
Yep.
They're gonna have a really good defensive line, which is something that they've kind of been missing. The other two have been good, but they need somebody else to add to that.
They're kind of
JC
back.
Jackson was a rookie in the same sense that Shaq Barrett was a rookie.
That's what I thought. I didn't
Yeah.
think JC was a rookie,
I'm
but
full of rookie of the year candidates, I guess.
They did take a safety high, but JC Jackson was the one who went off.
they took Duggar high.
Ooh, we have a Cam is still a fraud comment.
Who
coming
says
out
that?
Here. Josh Elliott.
He's
Cam is still a
always
fraud.
been a fraud.
No,
Not
he
always.
is.
Come
He's not
on.
always been a
A
fraud.
Heisman winner and a
15
league
MVP.
MVP.
Fraud. Dude, you saw him in the Super Bowl not falling that fumble?
Okay, that's
fraud.
okay. That's fair.
What's the definition of a fraud?
Fraudulent.
Somebody-
You act like Superman and you're really super bitch.
Well, here, let's look it up here.
Uh-oh. We saw what happened the last time
Googling
someone tried to talk shit about Cam
Fraud.
Newton.
Oh fuck! Look
It
at that
went
gauge.
viral.
Who's that a picture of right next to the word fraud and on my phone? Is that Cam Newton right there?
I can't tell it. He's got to take that hat on and those glasses off. It looks like Cam though.
Oh, weird.
It could be Cam's mother too though.
dresses in disguises all the time.
Yeah,
You have
he's-
no idea who you're
He
getting. next
tweets in
week.
disguise too. Or sorry, those
Um,
Instagram posts.
What else has been some big deals that have, well, Kendrick Bourne goes from San Francisco to New England on a 3-year, $22.5 million contract.
Did you guys bring
Guaranteed
up this D
dollars.
tackle, Devin Godchuk?
Who?
Gottschalk.
Godchuk? Yeah, he got signed by New England too. 27-year-old D tackle
Sure.
from Miami.
Good for him.
New England's spending that money.
Pat
Not
Elflin
done.
goes to Carolina for 3 years, $13.5 million.
They signed someone else too. I read an article about how we ruined Pat Elfine's career
Why did we?
because we drafted Bradbury. They said when he was playing center, he was fine. He was doing great. Drafted Bradbury, moved him to guard. He struggled. If we would have just kept him at center and took another position, he'd have been fine.
We drafted him as a guard, though. We didn't draft him as a center. He got moved to center because he played like shit at guard.
Well, now he's signed. A
No.
13.
No. Elflin was the other way around, dude. We drafted him and he played center and he played good as a center. And then we moved him to guard and he decreased fast.
You sure we didn't sign him as a guard?
We
Or
drafted him
draft
as a
him as a
center.
guard?
We drafted him as a center and he played center until we drafted Bradbury. And he was a good center, Elflin was.
That wasn't the only offensive lineman the Panthers signed. Didn't
Yeah, they
get
draft
Cam Irving too.
Yep, exactly.
Who's kind of
Cam Irving.
been so and so throughout his career. Bit of a first round bust, but
God dang it, dude. 3 years, $37.5 million for Corey Davis. Do they have the details on guaranteed dollars yet? Yeah, 27 million guaranteed.
what does that do for like a Juju's contract?
He should get 12 a year.
Yeah.
He's just as what does it do for Galladay? Does it put him up in that 14 range?
I think
I
he's
think
the
so.
biggest like boomer bust though, especially after not playing last year. Playing 2 games or whatever.
If you're
he
the
did.
Raiders right now, I have no clue what the Raiders have for cap space. I tend to believe it's not that much. What do you do at wide receiver? You lose Nelson Aguilar, who was very good for you last year.
Do they still have Antonio Brown?
No. Nope.
They don't?
No.
What about Tyrell Williams?
I don't think so.
They don't?
No,
Do they
no.
still have they have Vontez Perfect at least though, right?
Yeah, no.
On the defense?
Just this
They
just then
don't?
they cut him. Yeah, they don't have him.
What? So
Yeah.
all these players that they signed
Yeah, no,
when they traded Khalil Mack, they don't have on their team anymore?
no, they're all gone.
Fucking wild.
Yeah,
Gruden's GM of the year. Mike Mayock.
Richie Incognito's gone. Trent Brown, as we said earlier, gone. Half their line's gone. All their playmakers on offense are gone. Besides rookie of the year last year, Josh Jacobs. Isn't that right, Gitch?
No, he's gonna be rookie of the year this year.
Okay.
They have 17 million left. 17.5 million.
I'd throw it all at Galladay.
Yeah.
Give Carr a guy to throw the ball to.
I would. If you had an offense that had Galladay, Ruggs as your speedster, you got Waller at tight end, Josh Jacobs. That's good offense. You don't even need no line.
Edwards too.
Did they have an Edwards cat? Yeah.
Ryan
and
Edwards.
Hunter Renfro.
Yeah, but for the amount of hype that
Oh, Hunter
Ruggs.
Renfro. I almost forgot about Renfro. Dude's future league MVP.
And Darren Waller, your favorite. He's the best
Yeah.
pass
Except for
catcher
I
in the fucking
actually do like
team.
Darren Waller.
Yeah. So I mean, you're
Renfro's
talking
just
about
on
all
every
these
Madden
weapons.
team I've ever had.
Maybe this is just a sign they're really confident in their young guys, Hunter Renfro and Ruggs.
Okay, I got a hot take.
Edwards.
I got a hot take. In the next 3 years, Hunter Renfro will be rookie of the year. Gage, what do you think of that?
I'll bet the over. I bet he
I
gets it
believe
at
it.
least twice.
So do you think they offered a similar contract to Aguilar and he walked? Or do you think they did?
I think they
I
let
don't-
him walk. I don't think they wanted him back.
I think if they would have given him a similar contract, he would have stayed with them.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave him a shot after Philly. He looked like the guy that Philly was hoping he was going to be in LA or in Las Vegas last year.
Closer to it. He wasn't.
He was pretty
flawless in
damn good
Oakland.
last year, though.
He had some moments.
He was solid, dude. Look at his numbers.
Like H says, stats suck.
That's fair.
Yeah, they can prove any point you ever want to make.
Catch a 40-yard touchdown at the end of the game doesn't mean he had a great game. Garbage time. It's a real thing.
Yeah, well, in the fantasy world, I'll take it.
Speaking of fantasy, which move impacts this fantasy player's value the most or decreases?
I think Jonnu Smith is going to be a top 5 tight end next year in New England system.
You think Cam Newton can produce a top 5 tight end?
He's a good target. I think.
Okay.
I think it's
But-
just going to be Belichick's system with a tight end.
How
that's
many
a
touchdowns
playmaker like Jonnu?
did Cam throw last year?
I know. Over under
Under
12.
under. I think it was.
I
less
think
than
you're
10,
like right on.
It was 8.
Was
Yeah.
it?
He was 8
Single
passing.
digit.
It
He
was
ran
8.
a lot.
I think he
Like
So you
8
gotta
or
might
9.
have gotten 12 on the ground.
Total?
I think so.
Yeah, he had a lot of rushing touchdowns, and they like to. I mean, they have 3 running backs they cycle in all the time. So
I'd be worried about Johnny not getting those red zone targets if he's going to continue to run the ball in that close.
Jonnu can run the ball. You know, they can run. I think Belichick got his playmaker he wanted.
He had 12 rushing touchdowns last
Yeah, so
year.
20 total touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
I'm saying if that number drops by half because it was Cam's offense. I mean, there wasn't really anyone besides him. Sony was hurt. Edelman was hurt. They were
They had Demir Bird.
yeah, it was pretty rough. And then Keel Harry leading the way. If they just take some of those, convert them into points, and then maybe they do go up to 7 or 8 wins.
Holy shit. Was he really 7-8 last year? He wasn't 7-8 as the starter.
What?
Mhm. Well, Hoyer started once or twice, right? So maybe that does make sense.
QB record. That has to be QB record. He was 7-8 last year,
Didn't seem that way.
and then they probably lost.
They lost a handful
Players
of close
won games.
games too that they should have won. He
Okay.
was out 1 week with COVID.
Dude, I seriously think if Cam
was it
Newton's
Stidham?
back and Cam Newton stays healthy this year, I think COVID last year impacted him a lot. I really do. He started the season off hot, got COVID, went away for 2 or 3 weeks, came back and was still not himself for the next 2 or 3 weeks. That's 6 weeks of the season right there where he was not good at all. He was terrible, actually.
I think you could argue 16 of the weeks of the season he was not good at all.
I don't think he was that. Those first 3 games of the year, he was pretty solid. He threw for like 2 or 3 touchdowns, rushed in 3, multiple touchdowns per game out of a quarterback and on a Bill Belichick team. You're going to win a lot of football games. I think the Patriots are going to go to the playoffs next year if Cam Newton stays healthy.
Whatever Steve's selling you, I'm not buying.
That's fair. You don't have to.
I'll still hammer the under.
What are the highest rated current free agents that haven't had any news on them?
Well, Galladay's one, right?
Yeah.
He's got to be number 1 with a bullet. Some other guys that would be top of the list you're looking at. Let's pull them up here.
Some linebackers, Melvin Ingram, Bud Dupree.
Yep, Melvin Ingram's a big one.
Dupree is as well. He's the best linebacker available right now.
Both of them are pass rush specialists too, right?
I don't
For
know
the
about
most
Dupree.
part.
I think Dupree's a pretty good coverage line.
Dupree's pretty solid all around.
right?
You have
Ant Harris is still out there.
Will Fuller, Jacoby Brissett, Patrick Peterson, Trent Williams is a massive offensive lineman still yet to fall.
You say Patrick Peterson?
I did. AJ Bouye, Russell Okung, Jadeveon Clowney,
Quan Alexander,
Riley Reif,
Eric Fisher.
What I'm noticing is a lot of the guys that are already
Justin Simmons.
Looks like Ryan Kerrigan is a
Didn't
free agent
Simmons
as
get
well.
Simmons got franchised, didn't he?
tagged?
Yeah.
Thought he
Yeah,
did.
Simmons did. Yep. Anthony Harris.
a lot of these guys that are still available are closer to 30 than 20. It looks like a lot of the guys that have already been signed are, still
Hunter
relatively
Henry.
young for the league.
Hunter Henry is a big one too.
Oh, yeah, he is.
One thing though, if you look at like running backs with Aaron Jones going off the board, there's not a lot at running back. Kenyon Drake is probably the top one.
And Carlos Hyde just signed a deal with Jacksonville.
Carlos
So
Hyde
he's
just
off the
signed.
board.
Yep.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh man.
He's
Mark-
been kicking rocks for the last 4 years.
Not
man.
Carlos.
The top names are Philip Lindsay, Kenyon Drake, Todd Gurley.
I think Marlon Mack is available too, isn't he? Maybe he's a cut
he
candidate.
might be a 4th-year guy.
He could be a cut candidate, is maybe what it was, or
no,
trade.
Marlon Mack's available.
Is he? Okay.
James Conner.
Sammy Watkins is available. That tickle anyone's fancy? That's like a Nelson Aguilar 1.0.
He is only 27 years old yet,
yeah,
which is surprising.
28. This says so. Maybe just
28. Yeah. Okay. But still fairly young as a wide receiver. Still has some life left.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Never figured it out though.
No. 1 year. I think he had like one really good year in Buffalo.
In Buffalo,
early
yeah.
on.
Over 1,000 yards. Yeah.
What do you guys think about the Aaron Jones signing? Was it 4 years, 48 million, something like that?
I think it was higher. Like I thought it was like
Uh,
16 mil a year.
48 sounds right.
I think it was 12 a
stupid.
year.
Okay.
I'd as a Vikings fan, I don't like it, but I think it was smart for the team to do it. He produced when he played. He had multiple touchdown games where he'd score 3, or I think he even had a 4 touchdown game.
Yeah.
Was the best option on the ground for the team. Why risk losing that and going with a 2nd-year running back when you know what you got there? By the time that Dylan is ready for a new contract, they can probably get out of Jones' contract. So they're staggering them so that they only have to have one big running back contract at a time.
Pro level guy, always there.
Just seems like a lot to pay a guy when you drafted somebody in the 2nd round last year.
We drafted Madison in the 3rd. How big of a difference is that?
1 round.
Yeah. But
That could be like 32
picks. A lot
People-
of players
And
there.
depending on if we had compensatory picks, that could be like closer to 40.
Yeah,
Yes.
when you multiply that by the thousands of players available, that there's endless possibilities there in those 32 picks. So
statistics.
it's kind of priceless.
We do have
People weren't
I
saying
really don't want to get
they
Gage's
should give-
opinion on what we're trading Ngakoue for a 2nd just to flip him for a 3rd.
Oh, totally cool with that move.
Yeah,
Who gives a
whatever.
shit?
baller move. It was smart to flip them when we did and get something back.
Exactly.
So,
Got
we have
value
that
for a dead asset.
We do have one. We have Dustin asking if he has $1,000 to bet on one team winning the Super Bowl. Who would you take?
You go back to Tampa, baby.
Yeah, I'd put money on Tampa Bay.
They got the band back together. Star looks like he might be coming with a contrarian take.
I was
Give
thinking
me New
maybe he
England.
should just personal message me. I'll take the money. I'll work out something, and I'll let him know how I do.
That's
We'll do just one roulette spin first. You get
Yeah.
your $1,000 back. Now we get some
Well,
play money.
okay.
Red or black?
House
Think
money,
about it.
Black.
Think
Every
about
time.
this though from Tampa's perspective. The Saints lose a Hall of Fame quarterback in Drew Brees, right?
Yeah, we
They
didn't
take a
touch on
step
that.
back. Carolina's, if anything, treading water. They're a mess. And then you have Atlanta, who they haven't done anything and they're not going to do anything. They don't have money to do anything. So Tampa Bay keeps everybody that they had. The Saints take a step back. The Falcons are equal or lesser than what they were last year, and the Carolina's not a factor.
I did watch a video though of Tom Brady playing football on a beach, and David Beckham picked him off like twice. So I think he's washed.
Oh, God.
I think that was the end of it in that Super Bowl run.
The soccer player?
Yeah,
Well, Tom was just distracted by his devilishly good looks.
dude, he is.
He wanted to kiss him, you know? That's why he was throwing to him so they could celebrate with a kiss.
Gage, would you?
I was going to say which one, but the answer is the same for both.
Yes, isn't it?
It's hard, yeah.
It's an attractive game of football they're
Who
playing.
shows Tom Brady's kid?
You wish you were the guy who got to oil him up.
Hey, we got a little bit of
Horse
breaking
kid.
news. Per Pro Football
the same
Talk,
guy.
the Minnesota Vikings have reached out and are working with Adam Thielen on a contract restructure that would free up another $8 million in cap space.
Love the move. Get him long term, lock him up as a Viking for life, and get us some more cap space.
Do we use that to restructure Daniil Hunter?
Yes.
Give
Some of
him
that
more
stuff
money.
down
Yes.
down the line, and
Yes.
then also, I mean, we still open up the door. Shaquille Griffin is a guy who's out there. He's one of the top corners available, one of the top 3. We make a move after him. We're in talks with him.
That'd be good. You know, if a guy like Richard Sherman believed in this team, do you think that would be a good fit? Come down for a year and teach some young guys a little thing or two.
I would be all about him or Patrick Peterson, to be honest with you.
I'd love Shaq he's a great talented guy, but I think he's still got 5, 6, 7 good years of football ahead of him.
Yeah, he does.
I'd like to see a cheap veteran like Patrick or
I don't know if
Sherman?
you're going to get him for cheap though. Is the thing.
well, I'm thinking cheap for them being like $4 to $5 million.
I don't think you're
gonna
getting
get
him
him
for
for
that.
I think cheap
No?
for them is 1 year, 10 million.
1 year 10.
The cheap
Closer
is
to that.
less term. More same amount of money, but less term.
That's fair.
What was the other big deal I just saw coming down the pipeline here?
We're also looking at Carl Lawson as well.
See an edge rusher or
Yeah,
Yeah, out of Cincinnati. But
Oh, here we go.
He was post Zimmer.
The Titans
Yeah,
are
he played
making
for Auburn. He's
Okay.
really good in college. Undersized, kind of fell in the draft, and they got a good pass rusher from him.
Minnesota.
It
loves
sounds
those
like
guys.
Bud Dupree is going to be headed to the Tennessee Titans. They're making a strong push for him, per Ian Rappaport.
He's never right.
Well, it's not a done deal. And
Wait, is this rap sheet 08 exclamation mark with an eyelash on the
Yeah,
profile picture?
Yeah, is that actually a check mark or is that like a fake check mark?
no,
Is
it's
it,
legit.
is it blue or white?
It's both. It's a little bit of both.
Coming from Scott, I'll believe it. If Brandon was saying this, I definitely want a second set of eyes on that.
Oh, come on. He's been swindled before too. We all have.
I'm pretty legit.
You made bets on bad trades that you've seen online and lost.
One bet.
Did you-
One bet.
Alvin Kamara was so good with the Bears last year.
Fuck.
It was who was it? Freaking Danny Amendola or some shit.
No, it was Alvin Kamara to the Bears. People don't forget.
People don't forget.
Fuck you guys.
Oh my goodness.
So, really quick, diving into just from a Vikings perspective. If you're the Vikings, you're looking right now, you have $12 million. You cut Riley Reeves, you have no left tackle. Let's say
Is O'Neal the plan at left tackle?
it's got to be him or Ezra Cleveland,
Yeah.
which let's say you move Ezra Cleveland to tackle and you have him and O'Neal as tackles. We won't even put a stamp on which position they would play. You have Bradbury at center. You have no guards. You have Dakota Dozier, who we all know is awful, and nothing. So you need 2 guards. You need a defensive end.
Another break-in. Sorry to interrupt you.
Go.
Curtis Samuel to the Jaguars. 4-year, $48.5 million.
Wow.
That is awesome for Trevor Lawrence.
That's a sneaky get.
woo. That's a big
And
one.
they were saying they were like 1 away. I heard a bunch rumor to there, but you got him. You got
DJ
Chark.
Chark.
Did you guys see
Chenault.
the rumor?
Yeah, Laviska
If they
Chenault.
could snag
James
like
Robinson.
who's the tight end that's still out
Hunter
there?
Henry.
Hunter Henry. Oh,
They have the money for him too.
Did you guys see the rumor of It was Chark and something else for Orlando Brown.
I did see that. I think it's fake.
Well, no, let's not even say it's fake or not. Would you guys do that if you're the Jaguars? Would you trade a DJ Chark and to bring in maybe not an all pro tackle, but a high end tackle in Orlando Brown?
He's super
Pair him
young
with Cam
too, right?
Thomas or not Cam Thomas, Cam Robinson.
He's what?
They franchise tag
26
Robinson,
years
right?
old.
Yeah,
He hasn't
26, 27?
extended.
Yeah.
No.
But he is
on
he's
his
due a
next contract.
He's
or-
due a
okay.
contract.
No,
yeah.
if you trade
that'd
for
be my
Orlando
trade.
Brown, you're giving him a big contract.
I would do it because there's a lot of depth in the wide receiver draft this year as well. You could get somebody in the second round. You have the first pick in the second round. You could maybe get a Terrence Marshall, maybe a Rondale Moore, but I think you're looking for a bigger, taller guy because Curtis Samuel's not very.
Rashard Bateman.
That's
Bateman
literally-
Rashard
could be.
Bateman.
He could
DJ
be there
Chark.
too at 2-1.
That's DJ Chark to a T. 6'5", blazing speed. I mean,
Bateman's not that. Bateman's like 6'1".
yeah, but when you're talking about the big physical or the big guy,
Yeah, he would fill the
be a
Bateman. He would
big
fill
pass
the
catcher. He would be a
Chark role.
solid fit there if he falls to him at 2-1.
I just Googled DJ Shark because I'm trying to get his height, and DJ Shark Ravens was the first thing that popped up.
oh geez,
So there might be a little bit of truth to it. 6'4". I thought 6'5" sounded way too tall.
I
I
personally,
knew-
I didn't realize he was.
I
that big.
personally feel like
Every inch matters.
that's
okay.
true. That's true.
No, I'm saying like I didn't even think he was 6'4". I thought he was more like a 6'1" guy.
he's tall and fast as fuck too.
What was I going to say?
He can move.
If you could bookend Trevor Lawrence with two tackles like that, that's almost something. That's something you really got to think about.
So Robinson would move to right tackle. Or is he already right tackle?
no,
was
Robinson
left
was
tackle.
left last year. He would move to right, and Brown would go to left.
Because you're not trading for Brown to put him at right.
to change his position right away.
The reason he wants out is because he's a right tackle. He wants to be a
Oh.
left tackle.
So he can
like
get
his
paid
dad.
more. So he can be paid more too, because left tackles make like on average $8 million a year more if they're the best at their position.
Well, that's assuming your quarterback is right-handed, right?
I
Which
think
is
either way, but yeah,
All
which
but
is
the
typical.
Dolphins.
Is he the only lefty in the league?
Starter.
Makes sense, I guess. Then
I don't. You got to understand too. This is Urban Meyer's offense. It's going to be ran there. They might not need these bookends. That's a very fast-moving offense. I mean, if you look at offensive tackles coming out of Florida, they didn't have the greatest ones. They had good interior guys because they were running the ball up the middle the whole time.
Yeah,
The
and it's an
Pouncey twins
offense
and
that's
stuff like
really
that.
built on getting guys in space. So a lot of times your tackles are going to be on an island, and if they can block for 3 seconds, they're going to be fine.
Yeah, that Trevor Lawrence is not going to be sitting back in that pocket for very long, especially his rookie year.
they run a lot of quick stuff like screens and stuff like that.
They run
Yeah.
a lot of quick stuff like screens and bootlegs and just motion shit. Yeah, it's.
Deception.
But the beauty of the Urban Meyer offense is it's still all built on power football. It's still a power running game.
I'm waiting. I saw Tim Tebow retired from baseball.
Yes, he
So
did.
I'm waiting for the signing to happen.
Coming back as a tight end.
No, quarterback.
To back up T-Law?
Fuck
No.
that. He'll start for the year.
He'll teach T-Law how to run a jump pass.
Bring him back to the Broncos.
They could use him. Hey, so right now, start Drew Lock or Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And Drew Lock's a better quarterback, but I love Tim Tebow.
I disagree completely. I think Tebow is much more capable.
You're totally off the Drew Lock chain, huh?
He's just a punk. Yeah,
I wonder who's going to be dropped in our Dynasty League this year.
Drew Lock.
Last season, you were totally pitching a different.
There was a lot more.
Anytime Scott has a
Positive
player,
thinkings about him.
yeah. Anytime Scott has a player on his team, they're the greatest until he's ready to drop them.
How
Then
about-
they're garbage.
Hey, how about-
no,
What
no,
do you
no,
think
no,
about
no,
Courtland
no,
Sutton?
no,
then?
no. I don't roll like Gage.
What are your thoughts on Courtland Sutton then?
Love him as a fifth wide receiver on my roster because I'm fucking loaded. I love him. Oh, the insufferable! You asked. You fucking asked.
Go home.
I know.
I don't know. I might just fuck around and draft another Justin Jefferson like wide receiver in the rookie draft this year. I don't know. We'll see.
I should have taken him at 10.
See who tickles my fancy.
That was a good get. We'll see. He's got a long career ahead of him.
Hopefully. But back to the Vikings. If you're right now, if you're the purple, what are you doing? Are you trying to get one defensive end and then figure it out from there?
I'm trying to make the one we have happy.
Yeah, that's
first
my
and
first
foremost.
move.
Is it a little bit of a stab in the in the back to come out with this news on day one of free agency. So now the front office over at Winter Park, well, not Winter Park anymore, but over at TCO Performance Center is scrambling to try and get you a new deal done to make you happy. They're also trying to court free agents. I think they all knew this was coming.
I highly doubt that they just learned about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've known since last year that
It's been
was
talked
not
about
happy.
a while back here too. It's not the first time this has come up, but I think it's in bad taste for Hunter to bring it up in the fact that he was injured all last year. It's not like he did anything for us last year.
Okay, so I get why he's saying it. He was injured with a serious injury that could really affect the rest of his life.
I get that, but
You
it's
know,
not necessarily
That's
a
the time when
to
you
demand
step
more
back
money.
and you go reassess your situation as a football player and say, hey, my life is worth more than
And
14 million a year.
I
Actually, I
absolutely
think
agree.
it's about as much as all these other defensive ends. So if you want to keep me, I'm a stud. Pay me like everyone else.
But then that's not about his life. That's about money, which is why you hate Kirk Cousins.
It's a money pushing move for your livelihood.
I just gotta
Kirk
know,
Cousins
Gage.
break his neck? Go through
I think
multiple
it would-
neck surgeries?
I don't
No,
know if
he's
Kirk
never
Cousins-
done any of that shit.
Gage, Cam Newton or Kirk Cousins?
Give me Tim Tebow.
All right.
Gage, Kirk Cousins literally 30 plus times a game drops back and has a chance of getting decapitated by a Danielle Hunter.
Danielle
like
Hunter.
defensive
Yeah,
end.
exactly.
Kirk Cousins has hit more times in one game than Danielle Hunter's
But
hit
just
all
like
year.
we're talking about your insurance policy on your tackles. You cover your blind side with hopefully a good player. And when you don't protect your quarterback with a sound investment on a good tackle, you get a risky shot one here and there, or maybe 17 times a game.
Dude,
I
you
just
guys-
I'm just still trying to figure out exactly what's
I
okay
hate
to
Kirk
take money
Cousins.
and
I
what's
hate
not.
Kirk.
Yeah.
Kirk is just a bitch. I hate him.
Joe Thomas is
There-
signing a
he's not
1-year
gonna
deal
come on our
with the
show now.
Texans.
Yeah, not the Joe Thomas that we're all
Well,
thinking.
Tricky.
Linebacker Joe Thomas, but still.
That's if Joe Thomas came out of retirement, he wouldn't be playing offensive tackle right now.
Oh wow, Josh Allen just signed
Man
a contract
lost a
for
lot
$12
of
million.
No, yeah, he wouldn't. He would be playing like safety.
What percent would you put on Danielle Hunter staying?
I think the
think there's
Vikings
a
are going to make it right.
99.
There's a good chance.
Because that's his number.
He's 98.
Gage didn't even know that.
Oh, he's 99.
Is
What? Hey, okay.
Right.
How about
Gosh.
this? How about this? If somebody came up to you right now and offered you 2 first-round picks for Danielle Hunter, are you taking it? And
Send
let's
it
assume
away.
they're top.
team?
Let's
Yeah.
just say they're top half of the draft firsts. One this year, one next year.
I want a player
Bye.
too.
You want a player too?
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, Danielle Hunter, and a first for Deshaun Watson.
No, not Watson. You almost had me.
No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not giving up that first. Also, I would do those 2 in a third.
I would do what Brandon said.
You would do a first, Danielle Hunter and Kirk Cousins for Deshaun Watson.
You're
I
essentially
think I
giving
might,
up.
Yeah.
You're giving up Hunter and a first for Deshaun Watson because you're swapping quarterback.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. I'm in. I'll do it.
Yeah. Our quarterback has no value in that trade at all. He's just getting his contract off of our cap.
He would just be the guy stepping in to throw the ball for him. at that
Well,
rate.
he has value to Houston because he's at least a stopgap quarterback on only a 2-year deal.
Well, yeah, but he's not your future.
No. But at least then they have a functional starter coming in.
Philip Dorsett signed with the Jaguars as well.
Ooh,
Speedster.
he's pretty
Jeez, they're
quick,
trying to
yeah.
get some weapons. What they must not like that 6'6" wide receiver that they have that showed out a little bit
Nefis
last year.
Chenault?
Chris
No.
Conley.
Oh,
No, Colin Johnson or whatever his name was. You guys remember him?
Charles Johnson?
No,
Nah, it's been a while for Charles.
he's like
Johnson.
6'6".
Johnson was a 2012, 2013. 2013.
2012.
Sure.
When he was good with us.
When he played for us.
Yeah,
2012.
Colin Johnson.
Is he from Texas?
He's actually 6'6".
He is from Texas. He's
Nice.
6'6".
What number does he wear?
19.
Oh,
Never. I
He actually had a pretty decent game against the Purple last year.
okay. Yeah, he does look a little more familiar now.
If I'm the
just a
Vikings,
guy. Kenny Galladay. Sign him to the Jaguars.
I'm
Trade
not
DJ Chark.
overpaying for D end. I'm getting a stopgap guy for the $10 million a year, and I'm drafting one. And I'm making Danielle Hunter one of the highest paid defensive ends in the league.
Yeah, I agree.
Totally agree.
Um,
I'm not.
it does
taking
sound
away
like
money
Carl
from him.
Lawson's going back to Cincinnati too. That's the rumor.
To play with Joe Burrow. No thanks.
I agree with you. I don't think there's any way you let Daniil Hunter walk out the door.
What is
You cannot.
Clowney's injury right now?
I don't know, but I'm interested.
I mean, if he's a guy that he needs a 1-year prove-it deal. We've shown that defensive ends can pop out of nowhere on our team. We can get him for $10 million, assuming that he's going to be healthy, and then use our first-round pick on a defensive end to pair with Daniil for the long haul.
Get Rizzo.
Yeah, someone like that you're not going to have to count on immediately, but
You could even use one of your thirds on a defensive end. This is a really deep defensive end draft.
What would you take at 1 then?
Offensive line.
lineman.
So a tackle.
I still think if Farley or Surtain fall to you at 14, you'd just take them.
If they fall to you, I don't think they're going to fall out of that though.
or Fields.
If 6 quarterbacks are taken, someone's going to fall.
6 quarterbacks won't be taken.
5 might. 4
Not
definitely
in the
will.
top. Yeah, 4 in the top 10.
I don't.
think.
There
I
could
don't
be
think
5
Mac-
taken before we draft at 14.
I don't.
possibility, but I don't think it's very likely.
Let's just play the game. Even 4 are taken. Doesn't
Yep.
matter which 4.
11 more picks.
That's 10 picks before us.
I think Dallas
Yeah.
is going to take one of those 2.
Do you know that for sure? They're about as predictable as fucking Gage at a casino.
Yeah, I think they could really end up with an offensive lineman there too.
Well, they got
'Cause
Frederick.
one's gone from retirement, right?
Frederick's back, right? Or was Frederick? Which one retired?
Frederick's the one that retired.
Zach Martin.
Zach
Martin.
Martin's back.
But
but they lost the tackle.
No, Tyron Smith is back.
Tyron
too.
Smith will be back.
He
Yeah.
restructured his contract as well.
Did they sign Nick Martin, or was that just a rumor?
Rumor, I think. Lyle
Rumor.
Collins is back.
I think they need defense. They have an offensive line. There is depth at tackle. I don't think they're going to take Slater, who's most likely there.
What if they go with like a Quiddy Pie?
I
Or
I
how
don't
about
think
that
so.
D tackle, Barmore?
think that's too high for him. I would, if I'm them, I would take Surtain or
Okay.
Farley.
'Cause
I think the Niners are.
let's
prime
say Dallas
They're
candidates
losing
to
takes
some
take
edge
one.
rushers too, right?
Huh?
They're losing some of their defensive edge rushers too, right?
Yeah, but they still have Lawrence, who's a stud,
And Alden.
and Alden Smith, who came
He-
out of fucking nowhere last
He
year and
played
had a
really
good
good
year.
last year. But the Niners could take one. The Broncos could take one. The Cowboys could take one of those 2.
Would the Broncos
We're
necessarily take
so
one?
early
They
in this
could.
process
Yeah.
that a corner might come out of nowhere to pass all these guys as the top corner in the draft. That
J.C.
happens.
Horn.
It happens like every year.
He's got the
Or-
size.
A team falls in love with a player. Cleveland Farrell went 4 overall, and he was looked at as like a
That is true.
25th and beyond pick.
Yeah, but that
And
was
he
also
was.
John Gruden, though.
But people fall in love with players.
I know.
That's why
Um,
they get overdrafted.
What about God, who's I going to bring up? Oh, did you guys see Rashawn Slater's pro day?
I saw him bench that a massive amount like 3 times. I don't remember what it was, but it was like maybe almost 400 pounds or something.
Yeah, he freaking showed out at Northwestern's pro day,
I didn't see that. I watched Trey Lance's pro day
and he showed out too. He's definitely a top 10 pick now.
easily. Maybe top 5.
He looked pretty good. His long ball is exceptional.
I'm still saying right now, if I'm drafting, if I can't get Trevor Lawrence, I want Trey Lance over the rest of the quarterbacks, and then third, I want Justin Fields.
So you're going Lawrence, then Lance.
Yep,
Then
Fields,
and
Wilson.
then Wilson.
yep, in that order.
I still like Wilson at the second best.
2.
Yeah, and then
Lance.
Lance, and then Fields.
I think Brandon's got it on the head there.
Fields has shown a lot of inaccuracy too.
I think I'm
he's showing
closer
some-
to Scott.
He's shown
but
some
I'd
good
probably swap
accuracy.
Fields and Lance.
Yeah,
So Fields is your number 2.
Fields.
Listen, you
Fields
guys,
is
when you
potentially
have-
my number 1, I think Fields has potential to have the best career out of all of them.
which
Knowing
OSU
that-
quarterback has ever been good?
We can't remember.
NFL.
You can't go based
Just
off of that
keep,
though.
keep buying in though.
No, you can't go based off of what other quarterbacks in that system have or have not played well. He's his own guy.
You,
And
you
as
can't
you've
go
had
off of
different
history.
coaches. They've
No,
been
you-
completely different systems for all of them.
But what's the last OSU quarterback that had a good NFL career
Terrell Pryor.
as a
As a wide
quarterback?
receiver.
As a
You didn't
quarterback,
He
say
had
that.
one good
I'm
year
saying
as a
it's
wideout.
that.
Come on, man.
Troy Smith.
He did not have one good year. He had a good run. It was a good 2 or
Hey,
3 years.
Hey, Joe Burrow
If you piece
played
together,
at Ohio State.
Yes, he
didn't
did.
finish his career there, but that was because he got beat out by Justin Fields.
This is true.
So you're telling me that had he stayed there, he would not be a good NFL player?
here's the
I
deal.
don't know.
It just
Bad
has to do
system.
with the school that he went to.
bad system. This is the system that gets them into the national title game almost every single year.
Not-
It's a
not-
great system for
Not
college.
on the legs
But
of
it's just for
they
college.
lost
It's
this
not
year,
a
didn't
great system for the NFL. These guys are
The
just like fucking Carson Wentz, right? Their best games are behind them. They
And-
played national championships year after year after year. Their best
Oh,
game is
so-
behind them now.
And
now
you don't
players
Trey
that are
Lance?
playing in big games as a knock against them.
Because Ohio State is just like Alabama. They're running their guys through the fucking fire.
Oh my
in
god!
college.
Are you kidding
They're
me
not
right
prepping
now?
them saying your future is ahead of you, bud. No, your future is tomorrow with us right here.
It's
You
the
just-
fucking NFL. You could blow your knee out tomorrow.
Rewind.
Which is just
Command
what I'm
C,
saying.
Command
Joe
C.
Burrow
What about
had
Trey
to
Lance?
transfer. He faced adversity that no one else at Ohio State has to face. He didn't have to beat out Justin Fields. He got beat out. So he just took his bitch ass, went somewhere else, and learned a thing or two somewhere else.
You just told me Trey Lance is a stud, but Carson Wentz, his best days were behind him because he played for NDSU.
Yeah, he won.
So where's your
How
logic?
many championships?
Where's
No
the
logic
logic there?
No
There's
logic.
no logic.
Wentz, I
It's
think,
gauge
And
logic.
Trey Lance, how many has Trey Lance won? He
Well,
didn't win back to back to back. He didn't
as-
do that shit.
as a starter, he's won one. I think
Exactly.
Wentz won 3.
Since when is winning
Exactly.
a bad thing, Star? Seriously.
Today it is.
Dude, it's not winning. Okay, it's the way they're used.
Next thing you're going to bring
In
up
Ohio
is
State and
Never
Alabama,
mind, I can't
they
say
use them to win football games. Other places, they focus on the player more, maybe, or
Yeah.
their career ahead of college.
I would like
Just
to
my
say
2 cents. Like I said, I don't know fucking shit about college football either.
my 2 cents. You the only quarterback you can really put into the same conversations as Fields is Haskins because he is highly drafted. Where Braxton Miller came out as a wide receiver. JT Barrett was a 4th round guy. Cardale Jones was a 4th, 5th round guy. They weren't highly sought after quarterbacks. Where coming out of high school, it was Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields were 1, 2 as the top quarterbacks in high school.
and it wasn't clear cut either way.
Yeah.
What was that?
They were both highly sought after. It wasn't clear cut either way. Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence, they were 1A and 1B.
Like they haven't had a quarterback with the status of Justin Fields besides like a Terrell Pryor, which we know.
Oh,
what
that
happened
worked
to him
out.
Well,
as a
I
wide
loved
receiver.
it. The touchdown he threw in the Super Bowl.
let's look at the 2 likely landing spots for Fields. He's most likely either going to go to the Falcons at 4
Great spot.
or the Panthers at 8.
Not so great spot.
It's going to matter where you go. I mean,
It
these
always
players-
does, though.
these Players are great, right? But
Why do you think that the scouts say regarding Trey Lance, if he goes to the right spot, he could be the best quarterback in this draft? Is because they're worried he might get thrown to the wolves too early because he's got a lot of cleaning up to do of his mechanics. He doesn't have a lot of big games under his belt because he sat out this whole year. Patrick Mahomes, even for instance, if he would have started right away, he might not be the Patrick Mahomes that he is today.
Yeah.
Scheme fit matters, and
I agree.
Andy Reid is a great offensive mind. So it does matter where they get drafted, definitely. But I think if Wilson gets drafted by the Jets, I think it's going to be a disaster. I really do. I think if any of these quarterbacks get drafted to the Jets, it could be a disaster, quite frankly.
But they have Corey Davis now.
That's true.
I need one
He's a
of them to go there.
quarterback savior.
Corey Davis is on my fantasy team, so I definitely, and Kenny Galladay.
But I think looking at the top guys outside of Lawrence, I think Fields is probably the most pro ready of the 3 we're talking about right now. I think Fields has the best chance to at least reach his potential in New York because he's already that close to it.
Fields is still my number 4.
That's fair.
You're going to have to wait 4 or 5 years before you even know anything about these guys.
No.
One of them will be gone.
No, I'll start judging
Well,
them
we'll
after
be
1
gone.
week.
Okay.
Who's the best quarterback out of last year's draft?
Yet to be seen.
Well,
God,
Burrow
sucker.
Burrow was hurt, so
We
it's
won't know.
between Burrow and Herbert.
We won't know for 4 or
Herbert.
5 years.
I mean, the
Herbert
same
the pervert.
debate was going on between the Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Rosen, and Lamar Jackson.
It's the same debate every year. There's only so many quarterbacks, and only a couple are going to be fucking superstars.
Yeah. So
One of these,
And halfway through the college football season, Rosen was still the most favorite. He was still the favorite out of all those guys.
one of these top 4 guys is going to be a bust, at least statistically. It's going to be 2 of them.
Wilson.
And Mac
He probably
Jones.
carries. If he goes 2, he carries the highest
Mac
weight.
Jones
of
was
being
even
Matt.
in this comp.
He said top 5 guys.
But
He was saying 2 out of the 4 is what he
yeah, I
meant.
might have said 5. I don't know. Either way, out of the top 5, it's either 2 or 3 that are going to be a bust.
Stick it right on under the
Fucking shitty
I
stats
think I said
again.
4. but-
It's Alabama. They run their guys in the ground. Mac Jones is gonna be a bust, dude.
God damn. That's a great take.
It was terrible.
Mac Jones might be the best one out of it when all is said and done. The longest career because he just plays safe ball and
Yeah, doesn't move.
no.
Can't move. He's a Tom Brady replacement.
I mean, look at
Oh God.
Kirk Cousins draft. You got Kirk Cousins and Russell Wilson still balling. All the first round guys, like Tannehill, I guess, resurged in his
Yeah.
career.
Tannehill isn't
RG3,
bad.
Andrew Luck, both out of the league. Top 1 and 2 pick.
Oh my God.
Mariota and Winston.
2016.
Unmissable people. Mariota and Winston. Neither of them are on the team that drafted them anymore.
What do we got for comments here? Anything good?
We're posted through the comments. I think we're ready to wrap this one up.
I think that's a good idea.
All right.
First ever live.
It was a
I
good
don't even
one.
know where the
Podcast.
camera is. I've just been looking at you guys the whole time.
They're just in the room with us, you know.
Yeah, they're just hanging out in our butthole.
Buy the buds for the buds.
True
but-
that.
It's gonna be weird saying this live, but go jerk off.
Bye.